Welcome back, everybody, to the Toe Jam Disc Golf Podcast. Once again, one of your favorite podcasts, I hope. And if not, you know what? Whatever, you're probably not listening to this. We are blessed with the opportunity to talk to Sam from AGL Discs. Once again, if you didn't know, Sam came on an episode, I think it's like episode 17. Definitely much appreciate his time and just super glad that he's with us today.
What's up, guys? Glad to be back.
Yeah, so Sam, let's just cut to it. AGL, what's going on? Obviously, you released the BEECH. I have my prototype one of the when you guys released it on a Monday. Totally have that. Haven't thrown it yet because I told myself I would not throw it the week of a tournament because I don't want it to make its way in a bag and not know what it's going to do. But tell us how it's going.
Hey, we've all done that before, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the BEECH is awesome. We were getting great feedback on it. We obviously got great feedback on it from our team members before we released it. And yeah, I mean, not much else to say other than it's been a hit already. People have been loving that it complements our Magnolia well, while also giving it a different kind of flight than the Baobab, where it's kind of in between. We get some glide out of it, but also have it finish strong. So I don't know if you've ever got to throw it or if you just instantly, shelved it until you're ready, but they've been very cool. They've been very consistent. The Alpine run, because obviously in their prototypes, we just did the base plastic, but the Alpine run actually gets a little bit more glide than the base plastic while still finishing strong.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to complement the Magnolia well. Already has for a lot of our sponsored players and stuff like that. I'm definitely in my bag. So,
it's funny is so I have thrown it. I threw it once. I met Zachariah down in San Diego, and AKA Dino, and he let me throw it. He pulls it out one day. We met up on the fan page or whatever. I was like, dude, that's Mass Park. I said, that's by my house in San Diego,
Nice.
by my parents. And anyways, long story short, we get on a hole. He's like, you want to throw the BEECH? And I was like, yes. And so I threw the prototype and both of us out of the hands. I mean, he was talking about it and I was like, I threw it. I was like, whoa, this disc is legit. What would you say it's compared to, like, just for the average fan listening in a mainstream manufacturer, like maybe let's say Innova and Disc, maybe not Discraft, but like maybe Dynamic, Discraft. You don't have to do all three, but what would it fly similar to?
yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar with all the other brands, but
Yeah.
I would definitely put it in like kind of like a Gator category.
Okay.
Innova. Maybe not quite as overstable as a Justice, but I've heard those comparisons as well. Some people have thrown the Justice out there comparing it to the Baobab as well. It's been a while since I've thrown one. I have thrown a Justice, but
Absolutely.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't really compare them myself, but I have heard people compare those. And then I honestly have not thrown very many like trilogies, so I wouldn't even want to like
try and guess.
Throw a name out.
No, totally.
But yeah, basically, if you know what the trilogy comparison to a what did I say? A Gator.
Gator.
Yeah, I haven't thrown the Cayman, so I don't know if that's similar. But some people have said, it's kind of like a Gator. So it's an overstable mid. You can get a little bit of distance out of it, but it's always going to hyzer out for you. So it's reliable. Pretty much no matter what your arm speed is, it's going left at the end if you're right-handed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think that's a really good way of putting it. Like, out of the mainstream, I would have said the same thing. Like a Gator, I might have said somebody's most overstable Rock 3 or Rock X3. Some depending on. But the thing is like
MD4 discs, maybe.
Yeah.
MD4, MD5, something like that.
And it's hard to really like. I always have this problem where I'm like, are we really trying to compare discs with other manufacturers? Because when it gets down to it, that's just for a visual for the fans, but I'm like, somebody's going to throw a Rock X3 different than somebody throws their Mako 3, somebody's going to throw it the same way and they're gonna be like, oh, it flies like a Mako 3. And I'm like, there's arm speed, there's revolutions, there's, so if you are like an intermediate or an advanced player, I mean, from my take and what Sam's kind of saying is you're going to make it fly like a Gator. It's going to be pretty similar. If you have never thrown anything like that, you might think something different, and that's all fine. That's all subjective.
I would say it is. It's a mid-range that you can confidently forehand. and not have to like I know some people can forehand anything. People who are really good at forehanding, like they could do a sidewinder or something and make it hyzer flip and do stuff.
Oh,
but
gosh.
For people that are mostly just forehand pretty stable stuff, it is definitely a good forehand mid. I mean, I'll force it over, but it's not naturally flipping on me. So like, it's nice to be able to like look at something, give it some anhyzer, throw it hard, and it's going to flex back. Like if you want it to go straight, you give it some annie. Otherwise, if you throw it flat or any hyzer, it's going to hook up pretty hard. So it's a nice disc to have. Definitely brings some confidence in your bag. So
yeah, I definitely I bought it not really thinking. I was like, man, I don't really need an overstable mid right now. And then I kind of played a few courses this last couple of weeks, and I was like, well, I'm not like looking for reasons to put it in, but I'm like, that might have been a lot of it. That might have been an easier shot had I had just something a little less beefy than like a Baobab, right? Something or a little faster. So I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe I'll find a way to get this thing in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I say that about a lot of discs. I'm like, oh, that slot's filled or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know where I would fit that in. And then, after a while, you find a spot. You're like, okay, I didn't have that shot in my bag before, It's
Absolutely.
Like, you got to kind of figure it out. And, it might not be for everyone. Not every disc is, but
no.
if you like overstable, consistent plastic, then the BEECH is going to be a great mid for you. Especially the premium plastic, I would almost give it like another tick up of a glide from what our numbers gave it. We gave it a 5203 from all the prototype testing and all our team members' input. But nobody had a premium, at least not a max weight premium. I had one that was like a 164 and it was domey. And that one was still beefy, but being that I mostly throw max weight or close to it, it definitely wasn't as stable as the prototypes. But the premium or the Alpine, it's pretty much just as stable, but it gets a little bit more distance. It's just got like, I would give it like a 3 glide instead of a 2. So
totally, it just stays in the air longer. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the plastic, the way it makes the air go over it, it's just smoother. So it probably just has an easier time and cuts through the air a little nicer. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to go purchase an Alpine one versus the base plastic ones, you'll probably be surprised because usually a lot of discs, it's like the more premium plastic, the better. But we use a high grade for our base plastic. Like we don't really have like a base, like a DX. Even our lowest grade is still like a pro level. Like if you're comparing it to Innova, it's like a mid grade. So
yeah, I was actually I was talking with somebody about this. I think it was this weekend. No, where was I? I was somewhere, and we were talking about how we were just very, very like praising AGL for the baseline plastic being like an amazing baseline, but not really baseline. It's just like
it's our base, but
it's your base, but it's not.
Would probably put it in like a mid or more of a mid range.
If you put it up in comparison to other companies, it's way above baseline, because baseline to me is something that beats in quick, as opposed to the AGL disc, which beat in like at a good speed, but it's not, for an average player, you can throw it for a long time and not see it flip over on you the ways that
you can really just feel the difference. If you grab like a DX AVR and just hold it next to our Madrone, you can feel it just feels more sturdy.
Yeah. It's almost like KC Pro plastic, but like not,
exactly.
like, I mean, without having to make the comparison, but like, that's just the level it's at.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's fine to compare. It's definitely not a baseline. It's our baseline, but it's not the industry baseline. Let's just put it that way.
It's above the ground of the baseline.
But we keep everything a little bit above ground level.
There we go. You saw what I did there?
I love it.
That's funny. Okay. So we talked about the BEECH, and it's going to fill some holes for some disc golfers. It's going to not make some bags. But when you guys look at your lineup of discs, what are you looking for as you look to expand? I mean, is there expansion? And what is that process? And then we talked last time, but what kind of goes into the designing of a disc, but like broaden this idea of a lineup, because now you have enough discs, but you're like, just want to build the lineup.
Yeah, now I believe the Beach makes our ninth active PDGA approved. I believe we've had 10, including the Cypress, which has been discontinued. It's at least our ninth PDGA approved, if not our 10th total, but definitely ninth in circulation. So as far as filling out the lineup, obviously most of them have been fairly overstable. Overstable is nice because it's consistent and it'll always beat into less stable. So worst case scenario, you just keep beating it in. We are going to work on coming out with some more understable plastic. We're working with Gateway. They have a lot of other companies they're working with as well. So it's kind of just who's ready to do what at what point. Like the Beach was supposed to come out last December, but with disc golf growing and Gateway adding a bunch of other companies that were trying to get into the sport because of disc golf's growth, like they kept obviously making discs for us, but like the new releases, the new stuff was kind of put on the back burner for us, sadly. It wasn't in our control, but Gateway was just trying to keep up with the demand and having all these other companies going through them as well. So the Beach, which was supposed to come out last December, finally came out. What was it? The end of August, right?
Or somewhere, maybe beginning of September.
Yeah, I forget the exact date because all these days are the same to me now.
Exactly.
I'm doing a lot of the same stuff every day. So, yeah, so that got delayed, quite a few months. So we're still, we have, I think, 4 new discs coming out in the next, well, it's obviously not up to us, but we have them like lined up. We have an 8-speed, a 10-speed, and a couple more putters, like 2 or 3 more putters as well. So maybe 5 discs on the horizon. But yeah, so we're just trying to fill different slots. We're not trying to give you a bunch of similar discs that are only like slightly different. We're trying to fill different speed slots as well as stabilities and flight paths. As you've seen, like none of our discs are like, oh, it's basically like a beadless version of the same exact disc, or it's basically, a flat version of that. Like we'll have flat versions of the same disc based on like different runs. We'll do a flatter run of, cedar or domey run of cedar. But we won't have a totally different disc that's really similar to that.
That is by far my biggest pet peeve. And that's not like fanboying AGL right here. That is just my biggest pet peeve when I look at the industry and I just, as a whole, so bunch of different companies, but I'm sitting here, I'm like, why would you just make the beadless version of that disc? Like and then just release it. I mean, I guess if you are, able to, why not? But I'm like, that's just kind of dumb. And that disc was already popular. If you throw a certain plastic and you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly the disc I'm talking about if you're listening right now. But anyways, I commend AGL for doing that, because on the consumer side, it's like, that was dumb.
Hey, I mean, they're probably just trying to, kind of milk everything they can out of a similar disc. If it's already, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I mean,
exactly.
So I kind of do understand as a business owner, but at the same time, at AGL, we're just trying to do things a little different. Yeah. Now, hey, in a couple years, when we've had like 15, 20 different molds come out, we might run out of like totally new crazy ideas, which happens. So you may see it in the future, but as far as our plans, we're going to try and keep everything coming out fresh, new, and obviously just a little bit different, a little bit above ground level.
Exactly. So, and that's not like I hope I never see that. It's just, it's very good job of like not making the same disc multiple different times. When you're like, wait, but like there's so many other ways you could do this, but that's really fun to hear.
Well, just know, like everything that we do, it's not usually just like off the cuff, like, let's try this. Like we plan a lot, just with our backpacks, they've taken a lot longer, but even before that, like we had a name picked out and we loved the name. It was the Treehouse. And we're like, this is cool. It's for all our trees. It's the Treehouse, it's a great name. But thinking of the future, we're like, what are we going to have? The Treehouse 2, the Treehouse 3? Like eventually that gets played out. A lot of other companies are already doing that. We want to be like every other company. Not necessarily. So
Absolutely.
we decided to name it the Yellowstone, and we're going to keep a national park theme. So there's tons of national parks. It would be years before you see us come out with a Yellowstone 2. Let's
Exactly.
just say that. Like,
Exactly.
No,
seriously.
Maybe 100 years if we came out with a bag every year, we'd still wouldn't have hit the Yellowstone 2. So
exactly.
Yeah.
No,
just little things like that.
Well, and you can see that through the products as well. Like you can obviously see that there's some thought. I mean, and you don't seriously just sit there and change the name. Like I remember when I saw it, I was like, no way, that's so cool. And then the explanation behind it, right?
Yeah,
so,
we weren't just going to be like, hey, it's the Yellowstone. We didn't like your idea of the treehouse, because that was a community voted name. We put out a bunch of options on our fan page, and the treehouse had the most votes, and we honestly loved it, like I said. But just for future, planning for the future,
absolutely,
we wanted to do something that was a little more cohesive to our business plan and kind of keep the same theme going.
Absolutely. Now, backtracking, I heard 8-speed and 10-speed.
Yes.
I like that. I think that's the way of the future. And I think that's really fitting because the Locust is arguably one of the farthest. Well, okay. When you throw it, it can compare to most high-speed discs that you do throw or anybody can throw in their bag. So I think that's really interesting. Can you talk a little more about the 8s and the 10 speeds? What, like, not necessarily, you don't have to go too far, but just what can you tell us?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about them. I've thrown, I think, the 8-speed like 2 or 3 times when I linked up with Josh for around about a month or 2 ago. And it's like a slower, maybe flippier Locust. So it might be like a 9, an 8, like 5, -2, 2.
Yeah.
Something like that, just off my first impressions.
Yeah.
I have not thrown the 10-speed yet. I don't know if we've had that many prototypes of it. I think Josh might have one or something like that. But they should be in like the more neutral stabilities, maybe a little understable, like get a little bit of turn out of it. But yeah, probably nothing too super beefy out of those two.
Yeah.
And I believe awesome. We have the 10-speed is not going to, or it doesn't have a name yet, but the 8-speed, we're going to be working with Jeff Wynn, who does a lot of our art, and he's going to name it the Ash, we believe. So that's little cool. Inside info, might change in the future, but as far as I know, that's what he was leaning towards. So
absolutely,
that'll be cool. He did that big mural in our office, and I think he's also doing one on the entry where the roll-up door is on the left side on that outside of that office. That's awesome. Too. So yeah, he does really great work. He did the cedar tank tops. He did all the stickers for all the different molds with the skeleton art on them.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, he did some stamps for some of our first run releases. He did that full color magnolia. He does a lot of work for us, so just kind of letting him pick a name for one of our discs.
Yeah,
as a way of saying thanks. So
that's awesome. That's cool to hear. What's your favorite part about the AGL community?
I mean, the fans. I think we have, you're one of them. I mean, we have some of the best fans in the business. I mean, we try to treat our fans how we'd want to be treated as customers. So we take care of everyone as best we can. We try not to like favor anyone, but we don't, blacklist anyone either. We just try to keep it fair and try and, give good value with our products, not just here's a disc. I hope we have fun. Like we have, our mission. So everybody's going to be different. Some people will like us, some people won't, but the people who have so far, it's been a great community. It's a nice bunch of people. We don't get any negativity on our fan page. I don't think I've seen any at all. So that's a testament to you guys, and hopefully a testament to how we're running our business as well.
Absolutely. I think, best customer service / experience definitely goes to you guys, having shopped around. So it's really cool to watch and to be on the other side of it.
Yeah. I mean, simple things like Josh used to work for I think it was either UPS or FedEx for a little while, and so he's like really good with like packaging things, how he'd want to receive them. You know, you're not going to get something from us that is like terribly packaged or gets damaged on its way to you. It's like bulletproofing the package before it comes, so when you open it up, everybody gets the same experience of it's, you know, impeccable every single time. So exactly. Little things like that really help set us apart. You know, we've all gotten those discs in the mail that are either bent or they didn't use a cardboard backer. Even if it wasn't bent, you're like, man, they really didn't care about it. You know, I'm glad it wasn't, but in the future I might not go through them because I could see, you know, there potentially being a problem. You know, little things make a big difference when it comes to the customer service experience. And he's been on the more retail side of it. I was a door-to-door salesperson, so I was always more of a, you know, in your face guy, but not in an aggressive way. I was nice about it, but I had to deal with actually knocking on somebody's door and them not expecting me and having to go through that objection right off the bat. And then he also was the, you know, business coming to me and, you know, treating everybody how they'd want to be treated on that respect. So it all adds up to, you know, us kind of learning through the years how to treat our customers. So we hope that shows. We get a lot of good feedback for it, so I'm sure it is showing through. So we're just trying to do it a little different, everything a little bit above ground level, you know. Absolutely.
I think it's a great tagline too. As you are looking to expand AGL, this is today September 27th. So I don't know when this is going to be published. So just today I saw on Facebook, hey, we're offering our marketing services. What does that mean? And I know you said there's other services too. What is that? What are the options?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, for the last few years, ever since I've taken over the marketing, we've been getting a lot of feedback and like compliments and stuff like that. And even some people inquiring like, hey, you know, could you guys help me with my marketing? And in the past, we've just like, I mean, maybe we could. It was just always kind of an idea, but we didn't have, you know, anything set up for that. And it was just kind of like, all right, let's focus on what we're doing. But we just decided the other day, like, why don't we put up some packages together so that we have some options for people? Because everyone's got different business goals and stuff like that. So we made 3 different tiers. One of them is just kind of like a base marketing package where we make sure you stay relevant. We'll post a few times a week for you. We'll respond to comments and stuff like that. Then we have like more of a mid-range package where we'll post a little bit more often for you, almost every day. And then obviously still do the same thing with responding to comments and messages. And then we'll also create some content for you, whether it be like videos or memes or like marketing type promotions and stuff like that. We can run giveaways. There's different like perimeters to how many per month or, you know, what have you. And then we have a premium package where we'll basically just run your business for you. I mean, obviously we'll be in direct contact with you with how you want it run, but we'll post pretty much every day and let, you know, barring, you know, needing a day off or something, but we'll make up for it for 2 posts on another day or what have you. We'll create multiple videos, memes or whatever per week. And then obviously still respond to everyone like that. And basically just treat your business like it was our business and help you grow and reach your different business goals. So there's a little bit something for everyone. Maybe in the future, we'll add even more options and tiers. But we'll just see how this goes for it because a lot of people had been asking. So now it's officially an option. It's actually got its own tab there. You can go on our agldisc.com, click on the drop-down tabs and click on marketing and get some more information about that.
And then, so is this like disc golf exclusive or is this anything?
I mean, I'm open to do anything. It is going to be mostly me doing it. So I don't mind marketing anything. Certain things it might be a little bit of a learning curve, but I've sold almost everything. Since I was 17 years old, from vacuums to solar to security, and now discs. So, I mean, I'm willing to at least give everything or anything a try. I know I can grow your Instagram regardless of the business. So I'm not really worried about that. It would just be a matter of if you think it's worth it, based on like what kind of sales you get. You know, I mean, some people get a lot of money off a little bit of business, so they might not be as worried about growing their Instagram, because it doesn't matter if they have 10,000 followers, because they're making, you know, hundreds of thousands off of only a couple clients. And they want to give those couple clients high quality, so they might want to just convert some sales. Whereas other people, it makes a difference if they have 5, 10, 15, 20,000 followers. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are. You know, if you need a lot of customers to get your business, I can help you get a lot of customers. If you need quality customers, I can help you get quality customers.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's exciting. So you hear that?
Yeah.
Everybody listen up. If you want to hire this guy through AGL, look it up on the website. Yes, sir.
AGLDiscs.com. Go to the marketing tab, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your business goals.
That is so cool. I don't really have much of a working background in sales, but I studied PR and advertising. And so it's very interesting hearing that aspect. I'm like, that is absolutely genius right there. I'm like, that is just it. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, when you've sold one thing, you apply the same general rules, principles, psychology to selling anything.
Exactly.
So once I, you know, after the second or third thing I sold when I was like 18 or 19, I was like, okay, I get this. Like it's a different ingredient, like a different product, but the way to get the sales is very similar within a certain, within reason, obviously. Selling vacuums is way different than selling solar. But at the end of the day, the thought process behind the consumer buying it is a similar. Yeah.
My dad would say the same thing. He's been in sales probably 30 years. He worked at Home Depot in the plumbing department, right? Or he was selling mailboxes, and now he's selling decorative plumbing, right? So it's the same kind of concept. You just take it with you wherever you go. And there's learning curve, like you said.
I mean, I was better at selling certain things than others, but I was always one of the top salesmen at every company. So it's all, you know, very similar as far as the psychology behind it. So
that is so cool. All right. So closing remarks. What do I want to leave you with? Let's see. What is one thing you want to tell people that are listening? It could be about disc golf, it could be about AGL, it could be about anything. What do you want to say?
Well, as you said, what is it, September 27th?
Yep.
So by the time this airs, because I know it's not airing live right now, and I highly doubt it'll be up in the next 10 minutes or so, because I'm going to do it right after I get off. But we're also going to be offering course design. So Josh actually has already designed, you know, a decent amount of courses. And we also have Dave, who is, I believe, the number 2 course designer in the world with Gateway. And he's willing to work with us as well. So we have these 2 guys at our disposal, and we'll go anywhere in the country. So that I'm about to post as soon as I get off with you right now today. So it will be, by the time you post this episode, it'll be available. So if you like have a big property, if you own a winery, wherever you want, if you want your own disc golf course and you need help designing it, we'll have different packages for that as well. Whether you just want the design or if you actually want the installation too, we'll do it all. We'll even include baskets if need be. So you can just have us come out and map it out for you, or you can get a full package with install and baskets.
So that is awesome. You heard it here, folks, first.
That'll probably be another tab right under marketing or somewhere on our drop down bar.
That is so cool.
Hour or so.
If you're a listener in Camarillo, California, where I live, please, somebody who has big property out here. There's tons of farms. Come on, farmers, open it up. We want a disc golf course down here.
Disc golf is getting very popular. If you have like a winery or a brewery or something and a decent amount of property that goes along with it, it's pretty low impact on the environment. So having a disc golf course go through your property and then having people end with a little tasting, just a little
money in the
idea
bank
there for you. Exactly.
Money in the bank right there. Cash money.
Yep. So, and us disc golfers like our beer and wine. So
absolutely. Well, Sam, thank you once again for joining us. We don't know how much, I don't know how much I can say, but just, I really appreciate the time. I love what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing. And just thank you again.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. So if you're listening, you can go to AGL Discs. You can type in your order, get a couple cedars, locusts, whatever you want, BEECH, and make sure at the end under discount to type in Toe Jam. 10 to get 10% off your entire order.
Do it.
You also should be aware that in sometime soon, the Disc Golf Chemist and I will be dropping a review on the BEECH and the Baobab soon. So we just want to do it, and we have interesting takes. We're going to do it under 5 minutes. So we're going to make sure that you have the ability to watch the full thing and not get tired of us. So
Nice.
make sure to stay tuned to that. But once again, use code TOEJAM10 for 10% off your order at AGL Discs. And thank you again, Sam.
Thank you. You guys have a good night. Thanks for listening.
See ya.